Hey crew, welcome back. It's HPC Move Mob. This is Dr. Jared. We're going to be talking about low back pain. My low back is killing me. Why is it killing you and what can you do about it? That's what we're going to get into. So we look at the statistics. Oh my gosh, do a quick Google search and you'll be shocked. Everyone is having, will have, or has had low back pain. So pretty much it's going to be something that's going to affect everyone. Most people end up just living with it, which is kind of a sad scenario. We just kind of accept it and say, it's hell to get old. No, it's hell to age poorly. And we can have some control over this. Many are disabled, to the point where, you might be getting checks from the state, or you just can't work or you can't play as desired, and it's just not an acceptable thing. We can have some more control over this, and we should be able to get through this. Regardless, all are robbed of energy, efficiency, and life, and we want to put something together that can help people understand it a little bit better and maybe take a little bit different approach to getting better. Now, before we go through this, we're going to go through a lot of things on a simple concept. If you're writhing in pain, you need to be working with a good doc or specialist. This isn't going to dramatically change your existence and make all of your dreams come true, but it is going to set the tone for you to understand, there's some potential for me to control this in a much better way. So you need to be seeing probably a chiropractor, physical therapist, or massage therapist that can speak to you in these terms and makes the sense that we're going to make here as we progress along. Who will it help, or what will it help with? We're going to be able to help with sciatica, low back pain, low back strains, sprain strains, disc irritation, neuritis, and compressive scenarios. So we got sciatica, disc irritation, and neuritis. They're all kind of the same thing, maybe in different scenarios or different ways, but they all send that shooting pain down the leg. A sciatica is going to be more down the back of the leg. Your disc irritation and neuritis might be to the front parts of the leg and a little bit farther down, but regardless of if it's back pain or compressive pain or shooting pain, these concepts that we're going to talk about are going to help you manage that better. So it's all coming from bad habits, or I won't say it's all coming, but the majority of it's coming from bad habits. We slouch at work, we sit on our sacrum, meaning we sit on our butt cheeks, and pretty much our sciatic nerves, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, they start saying no thank you by sending shooting pain down our leg. We bend from our spine and not from our hip. We're underactive with our glutes, and we're tightened down through the front part of our hip or the front part of our leg. We're not paying attention, maybe at all, or just not realizing the subtleties of just missing or not doing the right things at the right times. We'll look at some of these here. We've all seen people in the slouched posture. We're significantly rounded through the low back when we're keyboarding, when we're texting, when we're sitting in a conference looking here. All of this just stacks up to create a lot of stress and tension. When we're driving, all of these things are just really building tension into our system. Now, if we take that to the active level, we go and spend time with our kids and we round through our spine. We round through our spine, picking up after them. You should see some of the things that people do when they're in pain in the office that just violate all things good in terms of healing the system. But pain is a son of a gun. It will make you do that. It'll confuse your system and have you beg, borrowing, stealing, searching for ways to move. We just got to stabilize things. So something I hear, hey doc, how do I stretch my back? And I just got to say, you don't, because you already have been. We sit, even with a rage with standing desk, we still spend a lot of time sitting in this posture, and we see there's a lot of rounding. We're just hanging from these tissues, tugging on them all day, and then we think, hey, I should stretch that more. No, we got to open up the front part of the hip. We got to recalibrate this system so it gets back to neutral. Lumbar spine should have a little bit of a curve, just like so, and we're going to get into showing you how to do that. We want to stretch the front part of the hip to protect the back. We're going to show you here a passive way to stretch that, and also do a little bit of a mash. If you have a lacrosse ball, if you have a softball, if you have any type of baseball, even just something that can put a little bit more compression, you get a little bit deeper stretch, a little bit quicker change in your tissue. We're going to be talking about the psoas. Some of you have heard a lot about it. Some of you say psoas, what? Well, it's just your hip flexor, okay? It's a thing that's kind of in your lower abdomen that really, we see that it gets really locked down and it really inhibits your ability to use your glutes or your hips. And so what do you have to do? Well, you have to use your back, and that's just another not a very good long-term scenario because you're going to hurt your back. We also want to be able to kind of understand the pelvic floor here a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into that, but it's pretty hot in research, and it's very, very important to understand and utilize in the rehab setting. And we definitely do that with these exercises. So again, a lot of people want to get into this position, kind of be able to decompress that spine. That's not the end of the world. It makes it feel better for a short amount of time, but it's definitely not recalibrating the tissue. So we don't want to stretch the back. We want to stretch the front part of the hip. I get into a Sphinx position here, kind of a modified cobra. I'm going to really tighten through my glutes, suck in with my abs so I'm not compressing my low back. We should never feel our low back here. If I want to isolate on one hip, I kick one knee out, walk my elbows over, and I'm really squeezing that right glute in that scenario. Here, I'm going to switch to the other side, pop that knee up a little bit. I'm going to squeeze through my glute, tighten through my abs, get long with my spine, really drive up and through there like you just saw to really get a good stretch. Now, wherever I feel that stretch on the front part of my hip, I'm going to use that ball, put it right in there, and that will definitely intensify this scenario to start loosening these tissues that are chronically shortened, and you'll need some of that assistance because we spend so much time shortening it. We need some more intensification to get that recalibrated. And here you see, oh, all of this stuff gets to shorten. I get to reinstitute a little bit of a lumbar curve, not hyperextension and compression, but normalizing back into what good position should be. Now, other active options are actually standing tilts. I want to really focus again on the butt and the belly, making sure my glutes are really activated and my gut and my lower stomach is really activated as well. So I'm not feeling anything in my back, or I'm not getting that belt line compression. If you're doing that, you're probably taking your shoulders behind your hips from your low back. We do not want to do that. Instead, we want to be using our hips in front of our shoulders. We want to drive the hips in front of the shoulders. Let's take a peek at that now. So you'll see right here, I'm going to tighten my glutes, suck in my abs, and you see I kind of tilt my pelvis underneath. So when I tilt back, I start to feel that lower abdomen stretch or that high hip stretch. I'm not feeling anything through my hips. Stand tight with that stomach as I do this. I can tilt side to side. A lot of times your body wants to do this anyway, but we see a lot of people just compressing their low back, which is definitely not what we want. If we want to take that to the next level, you can do the same thing, but we'll just do it in isolation and really get into a good stretch in the front part of the leg while isolating the contraction in the rear, not in the back. It is in the back, but it's not the back. It's the rear. It's our glute clinch to really get that pelvic tilt. This will make it more of a standing glute bridge, which like we say all the time, if we can get people to stabilize their backs and neutralize their backs and use their glutes and hips fully, then we solve just about any lower half issue or really take it to a new level. So realize you can do this anytime, anywhere, almost. Maybe some socially unacceptable scenarios, but for the most part, really hit this as much as you can. All we're going to do is take one foot back, tuck it in, lock that glute in. You'll see a little bit of a twist there, and I'm really trying to get into kind of that standing glute bridge where I get that nice stretch to the front part of the hip and a very deep contraction in that butt cheek. Also, really when you're doing that, again, focus, don't have anything in your low back. If you have a little bit of compression in your low back, you're probably reaching too far with your shoulders and not rolling or tilting by contracting with your glutes and tightening your belly button in or drawing it in. So really focus on those things so that we get better and not potentially build more inflammation. Now, better habits is something that we also want to look at. We want to be in a more active position. How do we do that? We open through the hips. We sit on our ischial tuberosities, as you're seeing there. So if I'm typing or working on my iPad or doing whatever, it's very simple. I'm in a nice neutral position. I want to have some tension in the belly as well as that. And I want to have some active and passive options. You see there, I get into that passive scenario where I'm all the way back into the chair. Here I'm doing more of my deadlifts. I'm talking to my kids with this nice flat spine where I'm bending more through my hip, but there's not a whole lot of movement through my spine. So we want to isolate and make sure, hey, I'm feeling that through my hamstrings and my glutes, and I'm not rounding through my low back. Here's the deal. If you're not feeling it in your hamstrings, as far as tension and stretch when you do that deadlift or picking things up off the floor or talking with your kids, you're doing it wrong, and you need to flatten your spine so we don't tug on it more. Hopefully that helps. Hey, you keep it up. We will keep it up as well. Follow us on HPC Move Mob. Give us your email. That way you can get this information right away. I'm not going to inundate you with a daily email. I don't like that. People who know me know I'm not. Yeah, that's not how I roll. The thing is, I'm too busy to be doing these daily, but I will get out these major concepts maybe once, maybe twice. We'll call it 1.5 times a week, and it should help you on a particular topic, or really help you be able to help some of the other people by sharing this information, which you guys have done an amazing job sharing this to other people, commenting, liking. Please continue to do so. You want to hit me up on Instagram? I'm at HPC Dr. J, Facebook at Health and Performance Center, and go to our website if you're in the St. Louis area and you want to really get on top of these things, understand how to not only just get adjusted, but have a logical process in dealing with your muscles, your movements, and your postures. They get you better at activities of daily living, but unleash a lot of potential in your fitness progression. Look us up, get into the office, and we'll take great care of you. Until then, I hope this helps. Keep moving, live as intended, and never miss.